attention was shifted to comments made by Nuhu Ribadu, Nigeria's advisor on President Bola Tinubu, and on the High Commissioner for denying Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff, and other Army Chiefs visas. Ribadu, while speaking during the maiden lecture of the National Association of Institute for Security Studies, described the visa snub as disrespectful, saying that the Canadian government can go to hell, quote unquote. Also, on the foreign scene, the Nigerian architectural system was stirred up after U.S. Congressman Scott Perry said the U.S. aid agency, United States Agency for International Development, funded terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram.
Your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel, entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school.
Meanwhile, in another foreign affairs development, Palestinian militants released 3 Israeli hostages on Saturday in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian inmates freed by Israel, completing the latest swap despite the fears that Gaza truce was a near collapse. Saturday's swap is the 6th since the truce took effect on January 19. Joining us on the show to discuss the allegations of U.S. congressmen and the fragile truce amid prisoner swap between Israel and Hamas, and the comment of Nuhu Ribadu, National Security Advisor President Tinubu, and other diplomatic issues making the rounds, is Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, former Minister of Foreign Affairs. Great to have you, Prof. It's a pleasure having you, and Happy New Year, to you. And I must say you're looking dapper as always, and great as always. Real quickly, Prof, I want to get your comments as regards the USAID case. An American congressman has said that monies were funneled to fund groups causing mayhem in Nigeria. What's your take on that, sir?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your program again. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Nayo. Good morning, Professor K.
Morning.
I listened to you earlier on this morning, and you said you want facts, because really you are not buying into this narrative about USAID funding Boko Haram. Well, I'd like to give you some facts. I served on the Boko Haram committee. Now, 2 plus 2 at times has to be equal to 4. So even if I can't give you 4, but I can give you 2 plus 2, we will then have to come to the conclusion that I'm giving you 4. I served on that committee, and villagers kept telling us that in the middle of the night, helicopters piloted by white people kept landing and offloading guns, goods, and all kinds of things, and money to these people. Now, villagers they don't even know who these white people are, and they have no reason to lie to us. Now, we made a mistake. When I said some of us on the Boko Haram committee made a mistake. We thought it was the French that were doing this. Now we have an American congressman said, no, it was the Americans who were doing this. And when you then add that to the Obama administration refusing to sell weapons to us, to Nigeria, on the grounds that we had human rights violations in the way we were dealing with Boko Haram, not in the way we were dealing with ordinary Nigerians where there were no security issues. Then we got a plane that was going to go and buy weapons in South Africa. Someone tipped off the South Africans. It wasn't a Nigerian who tipped off the South Africans. Who tipped off the South Africans? You have to come to a conclusion that it has to be a power that had access to information and that was able to do that.
No,
please,
I just wanted to ask something. Did the villagers identify the people dropping the weapons as Americans? That's just what I want to ask. Did the villagers also tell you that, they were Americans, they spoke English? I just want to identify that, sir. Did the villagers also
just,
identify them as
I
Americans?
just told you. Now, Rufai, if you're not going to listen to me, I will stop talking so you can continue doing the talking. I have said so. I said the villagers knew these were white people. And I said we who were on that committee made the mistake of thinking they were French. But now it is an American congressman who's telling us that it was the Americans who did this. And you're asking me whether the villagers told us they were American. The villagers who don't know French from Americans, from British, they just knew that these were white people.
Right.
And then they not only did that, they also penetrated our armed forces. Because behind the scene, our boys will tell us that there were times when they will have Boko Haram people in the sight of their guns, and they will now ask their headquarters for permission to open fire, only for their superior officers to tell them to pull back and not open fire. That shows the extent to which there was penetration and destabilization of our own security forces. Now, who will do this? Who will destabilize our security forces? There were Nigerians also who were involved. And this is where I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to mention names, but people who were going to the United States, who were leading delegations to the United States during this period. Our ambassador there, unfortunately, is dead now, but he wrote reports about the activities of these Nigerians, some of them governors, who were involved with the State Department and who were also involved with the White House and what they were doing. Now, who were the people who organized trips for Hillary Clinton and Kerry? Who will ignore Abuja and fly over Abuja to go and hold meetings with political operatives in parts of Nigeria without clearance with our own Aso Rock and our own foreign office?
Okay, Prof.
Hillary Clinton and Jerry were American officials.
Prof, can I have a follow-up?
Yes.
Prof, and I have a right to ask questions as a journalist because
yes.
I don't have a dog in this fight. I just want the truth. That's just it.
And neither do I.
And my point is, let us investigate. But I also want facts. And that's why I deliberately did ask you that question. When you say you are putting 2 and 2 together, you must be able to give an empirical, tedious link. That's just my point. That's why I asked you that question pointedly. Did the villagers say the people they saw were Americans? And you said no, they said they saw white people. My second question is, who are the Nigerians? And what did that report say about them and what they were doing in the White House? And why did that report not come to light? Because, in all fairness, Prof, it's unfair for us to come here and say we don't want to mention names for a Boko Haram insurgency that has killed a lot of people. It's very unfair to the memories of our troops that are dead and people that are dying and lives have been destroyed. So if that report was out, why didn't that report get out there so that we can see the facts in that report written? And what are the names of these people that were meeting this top American hierarchy? And what are also the names of those people that infiltrated the military and that said our troops should not shoot at this Boko Haram? We just want facts. I don't have a dog in this fight. I just want facts as a journalist. And we have a right to what facts are and the truth is. That's why I asked my question, Prof. So I don't have a bone, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just after the facts.
Rufai, I agree with you. Neither do I. I also don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just a Nigerian, just like you. Now, if you take the newspapers during the period when Jonathan was in power, you will find the names and pictures of Nigerians in high places who were visiting Washington, pictures taken in the White House, pictures taken in the State Department. You will find those pictures. They are not hidden. And I cannot now go and look for those newspapers and hold up the newspapers, but those pictures are there. And in any case, if you Google Nigerians visiting Washington, governors, they are not unknown people, governors, and some of them are in the Senate, some of them are even who are occupying higher offices, who were visiting Washington, not twice. Those pictures are available, so they are not top secrets.
All right, okay.
So really, and I'm not really. If I'm going to write, a piece, then I will go and look for those pictures and look for those reports.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. And first of all, let me start by saying congratulations on your recent appointment as chairman of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Congratulations. But let me ask you, just as we probe further with regards to the funding, recall that in a recent interview with another news station, international news station, the Chief of Defense Staff had actually said that they believe that there was some complicity with some international organizations. He wasn't just able to identify. What he had said was that some non-governmental organizations, because their findings revealed that some of these captured Boko Haram insurgents had foreign currencies on them. He questioned how they could, where they got their training from, how he had been sustained for many years. And even though there had been talks around local funders, there were also now implications of foreign funders. So that's just something to consider. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. And then in the event that it is found out, because a call for investigation has been made, that this allegation, it's an allegation currently by the congressman, but they should investigate further to understand what really happened. In the event that USAID is found to have funded, what would be the next steps? What are the options for Nigeria? And then what can we begin to do with regards to that relation?
Thank you, Ayo. Look, in this murky world of intelligence, secret service, what have you, you will never get to the truth unless documents are declassified. That's what we call deep state.